The Cook's Tale. The Cook's Prologue. The cook, seeing the miller thus dispatched, rejoiced as if his back were being scratched. "Ha, ha!" he roared. "Ha, ha! Christ's blessed passion! That miller was paid out in proper fashion for trying to argue that his house was small. Be careful who you bring into the hall, says Solomon in Ecclesiasticus, for guests who stay the night are dangerous. A man can't be too careful when he brings a stranger in among his private things. May the Lord send me misery and care, if ever, since they called me Hodge of Ware, I heard a miller scored off so completely. That jest of malice in the dark came neatly, but God forbid we should stop at that. So if you'll condescend to hear my chat, I'll tell a tale, though only a poor man. But I will do the very best I can. A little joke that happened in our city." "Well," said our host, "let it be good and witty. Now tell on, Roger, for the world's with you. You've stolen gravy out of many a stew. Many's the Jack of Dover you have sold that has been twice warmed up and twice left cold. Many a pilgrim cursed you more than sparsely when suffering the effects of your stale parsley, which they had eaten with your stubble-fed goose. Your shop is one where many a fly is loose. Tell on, my gentle Roger, and I beg you won't be angry if I pull your leg. Many a true word has been said in jest." "That's sure enough," said Roger. "For the rest, true jest, bad jest, is what the Flemings say. And therefore, Harry Bailey, don't give way to temper either. If I have a plan to tell a tale about a publican before we part, still, I won't tell it yet. I'll wait until we part to pay my debt." And then he laughed and brightened up a bit, and he began his story. This was it, the Cook's Tale. There was a prentice living in our town, worked in the victualling trade, and he was brown as a berry, spruce and short he stood, as gallant as a goldfinch in the wood. Black were his locks, and combed with fetching skill, he danced merrily, with such a will that he was known as Revelling Peterkin. He was as full of love as full of sin, as hives are full of honey and as sweet. Lucky the wench that Peter chanced to meet. At every wedding he would sing and hop, and he preferred the tavern to the shop. Whenever any pageant or procession came down Cheapside, goodbye to his profession. He'd leap out of the shop and see the sight, and join the dance, and not come back that night. He gathered round him many of his sort, and made a gang of dancing, song, and sport. They used to make appointments where to meet, for playing dice in such and such a street. And no apprentice had a touch so nice as Peter when it came to casting dice. And he was free enough with special cases for spending money arose in private places. Of this his master soon became aware. Many a time he found the till was bare. For an apprentice that's a reveller, with music, riot, dice, or paramour, will surely cost his shop and master dear. The little music will his master hear. Riot and theft can interchange and are convertible by fiddle and guitar. Revels and honesty among the poor are pretty soon at strife, you may be sure. This jolly prentice, so the matter stood, till nearly out of his apprenticehood, stayed in his job, was scolded without fail, and sometimes led, minstrelsy, to jail. But in the end his master, taking thought while casting up what he had sold and bought, hit on a proverb as he sat and pored, "Throw out a rotten apple from the hoard, or it will rot the others." Thus he ran. So with a riotous servant sack the man, or he'll corrupt all others in the place. Far wiser to dismiss him in disgrace. His master then gave Peterkin the sack with curses, and forbade him to come back. And so this jolly apprentice left his shop. Now let him revel all night or stop. As there's no thief but has a pal or plucker to help him lay waste or milk the sucker, from whom he borrows cash or steals instead, Peter sent round his bundle and his bed to a young fellow of the self-same sort, equally fond of revelling, dice, and sport, whose wife kept shop, but that was just for giving her countenance. She went whoring for a living. Of the Cook's Tale, Chaucer made no more.